I want to turn to Yvette Macabuag, who is with CUSO VSO from Ottawa and who represents an organization that's really making, I think, some very innovative changes to the way they think about development and the role of diaspora within development. I know there's a few other people here from CUSO VSO who have helped us out with table hosting, and because CUSO VSO is also one of our community sponsors, we've really appreciated the way that you seem to very much know the community and the development community here in Vancouver and have really brought people into this conversation. And so we're glad to hear from the Ottawa perspective. You've got a national perspective on this and are making some real policy changes within your organization. So Yvette, can you tell us a little bit about
Thanks, Joanne.
what's happening there?
I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here with you tonight, and it's been an honor to hear your stories. And I'm conscious of the fact that many people would like to speak, so I'll try to keep my comments brief. As Joanna said, CUSO VSO is an international development organization, and the work we do is done through volunteers. We've been doing it for 50 years. We feel we do it quite well, but over the last decade, we'd recognize that we can certainly deepen our impact. And one of the ways that we can do that is to become a more inclusive organization. So we recognize that the way that we reflect as an organization is not necessarily one that is inclusive of the people who should be participating in the development of the countries that we're working in. So because of that, we've developed a focus on diaspora engagement. And two reasons primarily for that. One is to look at what within our processes are exclusive. So what are some of the barriers that exist in the way that we do the work that we do that is keeping certain people away from contributing to the work that we do? And secondly, to develop relationships to inform the programming that we have overseas so that it can enhance the impact that we're having in the countries that we're working in. It's a relatively new program. Those who know us know that traditionally our volunteers are going for 1 to 2 year placements. We send doctors, we send engineers, we send teachers, and we will send members of the diaspora in those professions as well. But what we're hoping is that program is one that is much more flexible, that is reflective of the diaspora partners that we work with. So ensuring that they're inputting into how we're designing these programs in much the same way that we're working in our programs overseas. Our program offices work with a local partner in developing the programs and the placements that we're involved with. We recognize that CUSO VSO needs to be doing that here with local organizations. And I think there was the young lady who spoke earlier who said that the contribution needs to be two-way. So we need to be influencing the organizations here in Canada in the way that we conduct our work, and that needs to be informed by the people who directly contribute to that. And it's a recognition that diaspora are not the only people who should be involved in development. It should be all of Canada. It should be organizations like CUSO VSO. But in order to do that, it needs to have the input and the involvement and the contribution of the diaspora communities. I wanted to just respond to the gentleman who was referring to CEDA. CEDA is our primary funder in the work that we do, and they're very supportive of the diaspora work that we're doing and quite encouraging. I think they're in the same boat that we're in. We're an organization that didn't reflect the diaspora internally, and I think that may be the situation that CEDA is facing, is that they don't have that internally to be able to inform the direction of their programming, and I don't think it's intentional. I think they're working towards getting to the same point that we're aiming for as well. But in the same way that the term diaspora is new within Canadian society, at the conversation prior to this discussion here, there was a person at the table who said that this is the first conversation I've had with that term. So diaspora is still a relatively new term in our society, and we're all learning, and we're all trying to recognize and identify the role that the diaspora can make, and that is happening in our organization, but I think institutionally within CEDA as well as in the broader society.
Thank you, Yvette. So would anybody like to respond then? Seen right here? And right here. Okay, go ahead. And your name, please.
My name is Ismina, and I just wanted to get a little bit more information as how the different organizations that are involved measure success. Like, it is outcome-based, and accountability is really important, so is the governance very important. So how do we measure the success of what we have achieved in those countries that we're helping out?
So is your question to Yvette about what CUSO is doing in their program?
That's right, and I think CUSO, Mosaic, CEDA, they're all involved to a certain extent. So how do they communicate with each other, and what kind of communications do they have? What kind of standards do they have to measure success?
Yvette, do you want to respond to that?
In the countries that we work in, they develop a framework for the projects that they engage in and the partners that they build relationships with, and that country's strategic plan identifies the priorities that they're aiming to achieve. So these set the baselines that they work towards, and we do conduct an annual review of our projects and placements, and we do that with the volunteers themselves, with the partners we work with, the communities that we work with, as well as the staff who are involved with the project. So we try to involve as many of the stakeholders in the assessment of these projects, and that's how we determine our outcomes. I mean, practically, the outcomes that we aim for are longer term. It's not something that will concretely be measured in the term of a 6-month placement or a 1-year placement or even 2-year placement. Perhaps some of that, some of those results you will see in that short time frame, but the aim of our work and our contribution is something that's longer term, something that is more sustainable, and is something that is owned by the community.
Can I just point out, I was talking to Dara, who is the outreach engagement person. She's taken on our wonderful person Umida Switlow's role while she's in Rwanda. And I think that there's a recruitment process going on right now, and give you just a moment to let people know about it, and they could talk to you after at the break if you'd like.
Great, thanks, Joanna. Yes, for anyone who's interested in finding out more about the CUSO VSO recruitment process, we're hosting a free information session next week, September 22nd, in our offices in Vancouver from 7 till 8 o'clock. And I've got flyers here with all the details, so just find me around the reception.
We're going to be out in the atrium at the
That's
reception.
That's right, yeah. And I will tell you all about it.
Okay, thanks, very practical. Okay.